Good morning, Holly. How are you doing today?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
Absolutely fantastic. Before we get started, what's going on over there at the boutique? What are you selling right now that we can help promote on the air?
Oh, goodness. Anything. We really, since the show, have been getting a lot of more online customers because when we started, we did not have an online store. That's something that we've incorporated that's new. So our website has taken off a lot more since everything aired with the battle round. So if you want to help promote that website, I will not stop you from doing that.
what is the website and what do you guys actually specialize in?
So our boutique is Brand New You because our last name is Brand, get it? So the website is shopbrandnewyou.com and we specialize in event clothing and our motto is something for everyone. And when we opened it, it was really a place we wanted it to be for moms and daughters to come and shop in the same store and find something for an event and not have to go either out of town or to multiple different stores to find something that would work. So a lot of our clientele is moms and daughters. And my mom handles a lot of, like the older, like mom kind of clothing. And I handle a lot of like the young, teenage, college age type fashion. And we really work with anyone. That's why our slogan is the way that it is, something for everyone. We don't want anybody to come in and not feel like they're not welcomed or that they can't find something to make them feel beautiful. And so we sell something for every age, every size, anybody.
When you're working with the younger fashions, I mean, it's such an always changing mode. I mean, it just constantly grows. How do you keep up with stuff like that? Because I mean, even with your own music, how do you keep up?
You really just have to be on your toes, honestly, and just know that that's something that you're going to have to be invested in and keep up with. And, for fashion, you can really kind of tell when something's going to be in style. Like when we go to market and pick up clothes for each season, if you see something at multiple different vendor stations, like I remember one year there was this sweater and it was a specific type of knit that I saw multiple times on the same floor. And I was like, Mom, I think that we should get one of those. I think that's going to be really popular because I keep seeing it everywhere. And lo and behold, it was. So you really just have to learn to have an eye for that. For music, it's easier for me just because I've always loved music and been invested in that. So that's just something that I already do anyway and love keeping up with. But fashion was a little bit different and you had to learn, to have an eye for that and what to really look for. Don't
you think people are going to be traveling to your city to basically get in touch with you? I mean, to me, it reminds me of Pawn Stars. People go to see the store and to experience that. And everything that you're putting into this boutique is so Americana. You are so genuine.
Thank you. Yeah, I hope so. When we opened in 2018, we really did not know what we were getting ourselves into, but we felt like it was important to have a store like that in our hometown because Meridian is not very big, but to have a place like that where women can come and feel comfortable. And, I'm open to really talking and working with anyone. Every single person that comes in our store, I want them to feel like they are the most important person in the entire world in that moment. So it would definitely be really cool to have a store like that where people come from all over to shop and to come see our clothes and to meet us because we love that. That's the best part of the job is the people. The clothes are fun and going to shop is cool, but it's the people that you get to talk to and work with that makes the store worth it.
See, this says so much about you because you understand structure, you understand business. And so even when you grow with your music, you're going to have that in your background and that's going to be a very firm foundation.
Yeah, absolutely. Music is really a lot like a business. And that's really the mindset that I had even when I went to college and got a degree in communications. I knew that I wanted to have something that would benefit me beyond music, even if music didn't work out for me. But music is not just about how you sound. You can be the best singer in the world and not make it. And so it's really about more than just what you do musically, what instruments you play, your range. It's about how you communicate, how you carry yourself, your perspective on things. And being an artist is really like branding when you think about it. And that's what I spent a lot of my time on, at the University of Alabama, where I went to college, is learning what it meant to brand yourself and marketing And it comes in handy in the store for sure as a business owner, but it's definitely going to come in handy as a musician, walking into record label companies and really convincing, audiences to buy your music.
Yeah. To put yourself on display like that, because one of the reasons why I created a View from the Writing Instrument for iHeartRadio was because there are so many creative people that are still sitting in their bedrooms hiding what they create. And it's people like yourself, Holly, that inspire people to open the door and share it. And we need more people like you.
Well, thank you. That's really my goal with my artistry and with music, is just to inspire people and to encourage them, because I was that person that was hiding in my room and, hiding my talent and the things I had created just because I was scared. Yeah. Honestly, yeah. You never know when you put yourself out there what the reaction is going to be. You don't know what people are going to think. And I was the person a few years ago that wanted to do it, but honestly didn't have the confidence to do it and did not think that I was good enough or that what I had was special enough or that anybody would want to hear it. But really all it takes is just that one leap of faith, that one moment of confidence where you're like, well, maybe, because that's what it was for me. I recorded myself singing in my house and uploaded it to the casting website. A few months later, I got an email to send in more songs and then did an interview. And then after that, got a call to do a blind audition. So my advice to anybody who's listening, who's sitting at home with an incredible gift, but is scared to share it with the world, is you have everything to gain and nothing to lose. Right, exactly. Had I sent my video and not gotten an email back, my life would have stayed the same. And everybody's life is pretty cool. Yeah. But that's not what happened. And now my life has completely changed. I'm headed to the knockouts on Team Kelly Clarkson. I've got a little following for myself on social media, and really everything that I've been dreaming about for years is finally coming true. So I had everything to gain and nothing to lose. So just go for it, and you might be surprised with yourself. You never know what's going to happen. The two of you, you and Kelly, you're both Southern girls. You're probably sitting down having some Southern sweet sun tea. And it's like, what are you up to, girl? What's going on? I mean, because there's just something about Southern girls that there's a connection. Doesn't matter what state you're from. You're just from the South. Oh, yeah. Kelly is a country girl for sure. And she's done a lot of great work with country artists. She's won the show twice with country artists. She's from Texas. So she gets me being from the South and from Mississippi. But I love Kelly Clarkson. She has been an absolute dream to work with. And I've always looked up to her because, how could you not? She's Kelly Clarkson. She's an incredible vocalist, can literally sing anything. I've never heard her sound bad in my entire life. Like everything she does is just, I'm like, Grammy nominated performance. Perfect. So I've always looked up to her. So to be able to work with her, and honestly, just to even be in the same room with her is really, really cool. But she is just like she is on TV, probably even a little bit better than what you see on TV. But she's just so fun. I like to say that she's sunshine in human form, but I love working with Kelly. She's the best. I've been blessed with the opportunity to talk to many Miss USAs. And one of the things that I've learned about when you reach even a Miss Mississippi, there's a connection to the community, and you're so involved with all people. What was your community connection? Who was the one that was receiving so much attention? Because they need to have that love even today. Yeah, I've always been involved in my community. I've always loved service. So I've been volunteering for most of my life. I think I did my first major service project when I was 7, and I worked with it for, I think, about 10 years. So I worked with it for a long time. But when I was Miss Mississippi, I really made my focus on volunteerism. And my slogan was, if you see a need, take the lead. Oh. And it was really just to encourage people to not limit themselves to one area of philanthropy. I think it's important when you see a need arise in your community, big or small, no matter what it is, you do have the power to make a difference. Your impact is more than you think that it is. Yeah. And so really all it takes is just for one person to take the lead on whatever need they see in their community. You could reach out to a nonprofit and partner with people just to really get people involved in service and to really make that difference. So when I was Miss Mississippi, my area of focus, of course, was the entire state. And I had the pleasure of partnering with our statewide service organization, Volunteer Mississippi, and worked with the First Lady and the governor. We really did a lot of projects. I think I did a service project every month of the year that I served as Miss Mississippi. And being in a position like that, I didn't want the focus to be on myself. I wanted it to be about what I could do for the Miss America organization, what I could do for just the people of my state to give back. And that's something that even our teen winner right now is implemented too with her platform. She does monthly service projects as well. So it's really cool and something that I'm glad to say that I started. But when you're in a position like that, you can't forget about the people that got you to where you are. And if you have the power to make a difference, why wouldn't you?
At 22, you speak like an old soul. In other words, it's like you've lived this life before, and this time around, we're going to do it in a more giving way. Have you ever been accused of that? That it's like, wow, Holly, you really are a leader for the community, all ages, all people, no judgment.
Yeah, I've been told that I'm an old soul a few times in my life, not just from my lifestyle of, I like to be in PJs by 9 p.m. and my idea of fun night is like brownies in a movie. So not just from that, but just my perspective on things. I've had a lot of really incredible influences from the older people in my life. I had friends, of course, and loved my peers, but I really found my role models and the people that I looked up to and wanted to be like were much older than me. And I wanted to emulate, what they did in their perspective. And I guess that's something that I've had from, a young age, my parents like to say. But, being the position that I'm in, just having the opportunity to not only share my talents and the things that I work on, but to also give back and encourage people. I mean, that's the best part about it.
Are you a daily writer? Do you keep a journal or defrag? Because, to have so much focus on the true path, that really does take discipline.
Yeah, I do have a journal. I honestly don't journal as much as I should, but I love to write. If music doesn't work out for me, I'll probably end up being like a journalist or something. And in college with my major, I did give a lot of speeches, but I wrote a lot of papers and I loved it. And that really changed, my perspective on, the outlook of life and really how to do things. And I love writing, even writing music, just taking the time to sit down and really express yourself in that way is really important. But I probably write more in my notes on my phone than my actual journal. I'm constantly, if I think about something, I'll get on the notes and write something down just so I don't forget it. So I'm constantly thinking or writing about something.
That's the very reason why so many people freak out when they misplace their phone, because there's so much of their life inside that little box. And with you writing, oh my God, if you were to misplace that phone, it would just tear you apart.
Yeah, I definitely cannot lose my phone. That would be awful. So, but I also back up everything on my laptop, which I think is smart. So maybe I won't, if I lose one of them, I have a record of it some.
Music is a language of its own. How do you know that you're tapping into that level of release in the way that it's like, okay, it sounds a little bumpy right now, but I can easily correct this through editing. But then when you relinquish it to those of us on this side of the speaker, what is that language?
Just vulnerability. I think it's really easy to, when you're in front of people and sharing what you have, to want to be perfect and to want it to be a certain way. And honestly, that's something that I've struggled with, especially in the pageant industry. I'm a perfectionist and I am probably the president of the self-critic party. I'm very hard on myself. And, I'll point out a flaw before anybody else ever even recognizes it, even if they ever do. And I've had to learn to kind of let my guard down a little bit and be vulnerable, because perfection is so subjective and it's not achievable. Nobody's perfect. But even on top of that, everybody's definition of perfect is different. Mm-hmm. So even if you think that you might have done it perfectly, somebody else might not think that. So it's just not attainable. And so I had to learn to stop chasing that and just make it the best that I could possibly make it, but to be vulnerable. At the end of the day, everybody is human. It doesn't matter what you look like, where you come from, or how you live your life, on the inside, every single person is the same, and everybody can connect to, relatability and vulnerability. And people appreciate that. And so I really want to use this platform to, and even in my music, to not be that person that has a platform that's perfect, that does everything right, that people can't feel like they can ever get to that point. It was important for me to have those role models in my life to help me believe that I could get to where I was today. There's a lot of people sitting at home who might be scared to do something like The Voice or to put themselves out there. So they need to see the people that have made it to that point, to be real and to be vulnerable, to kind of encourage them that, okay, like maybe I can do something like that. If she can do it, I can do it. So it's really important to be thinking about that all the time.
Learning to live with that perfectionist. That's that inner voice that will set you straight in a heartbeat when you step off that path. Is there a name that your inner voice gives you? Because I'll call myself out in a heartbeat, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, hold on a second here. You got my attention.
Yeah, I definitely tend to, like, if I did mess up, I would, that kind of voice in my head would be like, what are you doing? Like, that was so dumb. Like, oh my God. And I think, with me struggling with anxiety, I think the picture that I have of anxiety in my head is like, I don't want people to think that I'm a failure, and I don't want to disappoint people. There's also a bit of people pleasing in that perfectionism. And especially the people that I love and care about, the thing that just eats me up would be for somebody in my corner to disappoint them and to think that I've failed them in any way. But I learned that just because something wasn't perfect, which, what does that even mean, to be perfect, does not mean that somebody else is disappointed in you or that you have failed them in any way. I mean, all you can do is be the best version of yourself and do the best that you can and not worry about the outcome and the results, because you have no control over that. So what I do is do my best and let the Lord take care of everything else.
Absolutely. What's your website where people can reach out to you and give you some love?
So you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Miss Holly Brand. And you can also like my music Facebook page, which is just Holly Brand.
Oh, please come back to this show anytime in the future, Holly. The door is always going to be open for you.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun. And yeah, anytime you want to talk, you know where to find me.
Well, you be brilliant today, okay?
Thank you. You too.